Hey guys, I just want to discuss CHTP and the awesome trade I had on it on Wednesday. Let's look at basically as it started out here, I'm looking at the 3 minute chart from Wednesday the 20th. What happened was we got a gap up from, it closed just below 80. It gapped up all the way to 130. And so kind of, when it gaps up this much, you're probably going to get some sellers right off the bat. And sure enough, we got a huge buy bar and then a huge sell bar pretty much. So we kind of let this just trade out a few minutes, see what it's going to do. And once it's set up, it basically consolidated here. You can draw another line right there, support line, and it consolidated there between those two levels. Once it broke this high of day, I bought at 136 right there, and I sold on the way up. I sold half of it at 146 and the rest of it at 151. That's the first trade. Now basically when I sold this first batch, I said basically wait for it to set up again and might push towards 180 later. Well, it dipped back and then started to inch back towards high of day. So at this point in time, the high right there was like 157, 158. I bought right on 157. It spiked to 162. It didn't quite get as much as I wanted it to there, so I held on to it too long. It ended up selling it back at 155 for just a minus 2 cents. Took it off. But as you keep looking, you can draw a trend line here. It basically set a series of higher lows. So here's the low. There's a higher low. There's a higher low. There's a higher low. There's a higher low. And it finally had this resistance level about 162 to 164 range. You could pretty much see it on the level 2 if you're watching that, as I had it on the screencast in the trading room. It was pretty heavy there, and once it got through that level, it should go again. So I bought again at 162 and kind of just let it trade out a little bit. Watched it ride this trend, and it finally went for us. So I sold that trade. I sold half of it plus 10 cents there at 172, and the rest of it 170 there. So another profitable trade on it. And then finally the late day one, which was absolutely huge for us. As you can see, it finally sped up and kind of basically this is probably a short squeeze here into close. Nonetheless, the buy for me was when it's set up to get through this high right here. So if I scroll out to the 5 minute chart, you'll see what I mean. So we had another higher low here, and that high of day was right there, like 175 to 78. Well, anyway, I ended up buying it at 178 here just as it started to break out again, and rode it all the way up to 205 at the time. So great day for CHTP. Basically, these are your signals to look for, especially on a gap up play. Wait for it to give it a few minutes to see what it's going to do. You never know, this thing could have easily just faded off and went all the way back down. So as far as taking it and buying it, you gotta wait to see if it's going to set up, consolidate a little bit, and then break the high of day to go higher, and create a series of higher lows, do the same thing and go higher. But there was plenty of potential to get in and out of this thing quite profitably today. So learn from it and hopefully use this setup on the next gap up play we have for us. Let me know if you guys have any questions.